All right, good morning, you guys. It is that time of year where you guys are going to start working on your California mission projects. This year things are a little bit different. You're going to have, instead of just having the two choices that kids normally have, which is visiting a mission or building a mission, I have 5 different choices for you. You're going to have 6 weeks to work on this project, so you'll start now and you'll have until January 17th, which is a Sunday, by 10 o'clock p.m. to finish your project. Let's see. Here, the main point. Let's see. You are required to have 3 credible sources of information for your mission project. The main point of the project is to show how the missions affected the California Indians. Okay, so that's different from years past. When we did the mission project before, it was always on just the mission itself. Okay, now I need the history of the mission and how it impacted the California Indians. That's a big part of the missions that gets left out. So you need to make sure you include that in your report. Excuse me. So the first choice is to visit a mission. Okay, the details about what you need to do are in here. So you have 6 weeks. So maybe over Christmas, if this is your choice, you guys want to visit a mission, you can plan a little vacation with your family to go do that. So you can visit a mission still. The second choice is to build a mission, so you can still build a mission, okay? You need to, let's see, your mission model needs to be accurate and include all the different areas of the mission as well as what kinds of plants and animals they farmed, okay? So an accurate mission. Be sure to include its history and impact on California Indians. Okay, so you can do that by putting up little signs around your mission. You can include a report with it if you like, but there needs to be written work even if you are building a model explaining the history of the mission, the impact that it had on California Indians, and labeling the different parts of the mission, the church, where did they sleep, where did they raise their animals, where's the garden, is there a cemetery, all that kind of stuff as well, okay? And then the third option is to write a report. So it's going to be 4 paragraphs just written. You'll have an introduction, which is what mission and where it is located and when it was built and by who. Number 2, your paragraph 2 is what was it like at the mission, what jobs, what did they farm, animals they raised, what was the purpose of the mission. Paragraph 3, how did the mission affect the California Indians' way of life? And paragraph 4 is the conclusion, sum up the main points of what you wrote. And you do need to include visuals, so you can attach pictures of the mission and the different things that you wrote about, or you could do like little pictures next to your paragraphs. However you want to do that is fine, but your pictures need to be neat and tidy, colored in, and making sure that they've met the rubric requirements. And one of those requirements is that the pictures and the visuals relate to what you've written and help with the understanding of what you've written. So they need to go along with, the details in your writing. Option number 4 is pretend you are a California Indian. So write a story with a beginning, middle, and end. All right. So you're going to have a setting. You're going to have like a storyline. There's a plot. Okay. So a story with a beginning, middle, and end describing what life would have been like as a California Indian back when the missions were being built. How did it affect you and your family or friends? Choose a mission to tell your story about. Make sure you are telling from your point of view as if you were the Indian, okay? And you could make this into like a storybook. You could just write paragraphs. You need to have pictures that go along with it. So if it's like a storybook format, You know, you'd have your little part of the story with a picture on top, you know, and flip the pages, or you could just write paragraphs and have pictures as well. And then the fifth option is to make a picture book. This does not have to be from the point of view of an Indian, okay? You can just make a picture book that could be just like an informational text, okay? It could just be giving the information and having pictures, kind of like writing your report, but doing it in a picture book style. Or you can just make up a story with the factual information about your mission and how it impacted the California Indians. Okay, so let's see. Oh, however you choose. This is what I was looking for. So it can be told as a story, or you can have it as an informational text. However you choose, just be sure to include what mission and where it is located, when it was built and by who, what was it like at the mission, what jobs, what did they farm, animals they raised, what was the purpose of the mission, how did the mission affect the California Indians' way of life. Make sure that you look at the rubric to make sure you've met all their requirements, and I'll go over the rubric. And your visuals and pictures, you can read that. Okay, nice and neat. They relate to what you're writing. Okay, so those are the different choices. Here's the rubric. All of those 5 choices have to have all of these requirements, okay? And this is what you're going to be graded off of. So 4 is the best grade, okay? So for sources of information, you have to have 3 sources of credible information, okay? 3 different sources. So if you visit a mission, your 3 sources could be observing and looking at the mission. Maybe there's a tour guide and he's talking, so you're getting information from the tour guide. There's normally brochures with information and postcards, okay? Now, you do have to include the history of the mission, which you should easily be able to find if you visit a mission, but they may or may not talk about the impact that it had on the California Indians. So if you can't find that information, because that is part of the impact that missions had on California Indians, that is part of the rubric, part of the requirements for this project, you might have to go home and research that separately after you visit the mission by getting a book or researching it online. You're also, so that's quality of information, the history of the mission and the impact it had on the California Indians. 3 credible sources of information. Creativity, project visuals are neat, accurate, and add to the reader's understanding of the topic. So if you choose, you know, one of the choices, like maybe you wanted to write a paper about it, do the written report, and you don't include visuals, you get marked off 4 points. Okay, so you have to, all of the projects have a written part and a visual part, okay? Mechanics, that's your grammar and spelling. So no grammatical spelling or punctuation errors to get a 4. And so then for a 3, 2, and a 1, it's the same requirements, although they lessen. You just don't have as much. So here, instead of 3 sources of credible information, if you only have 2, you get a 3. If you only have 1, you get a 2. If you don't have any, you get a 1. Okay? For quality of information, information includes the history of the mission and relates the impact that the mission had on the California Indians. So it still has all the information, but instead of, on here, quality of information has 5 or more supporting details, this one only has 4. Okay? And then for a 2, it only has 3. And then for a 1, it either is missing some of the important information or it only includes 2 examples or supporting details. Creativity. Project visuals are neat, accurate, and add to the reader's understanding of the topic. This one is accurate but not neat. Okay, the word neat is left out here. This is accurate but sometimes adds to the reader's understanding. That's a 2. And number 1 is either not accurate or does not add to the reader's understanding of the topic. And then for mechanics, it just goes to more and more errors, the lower the score. So for example, if you got all 4s, you would get a 16 out of 16, which is 100%. If you got, let's say you got 2 4s and 2 3s, you would get a 14 out of 16, that's 88%. If you got all 3s, you'd get a 12 out of 16, that's 75%. And then if you got like 3 3s and a 2, that'd give you an 11 out of 16. And that's a 69%, and this is not a grade level, okay? So the lowest score you can get is a 12 out of 16. That's grade level. Okay, anything below that is below grade level. So, anyways, that's the rubric. These copies are all in Google Classroom. They're also in the distance learning hard copies for week of December 7th through 11th up in the office. And that's that. I'll go over this at a Google meeting also, but I wanted to make sure you had a very detailed video explaining it because it's a big project and there's lots of choices and options. So anyways, if you guys have any questions, make sure you ask me at our Google meetings, or my office hours are from 10:30 to 11:30, and I have my Google camera on, and you can just pop into the Google Meet. You can use the link from the morning's meeting and ask me whatever questions you need on anything. So I will talk to you guys later. Bye.